It's great. Come on. The whole. Wow, there's lots going on here. Hey, we have viewers. We're dropping in. Chilster Deluxe. If you got an indie alarm, does something happen, Chilster? You always relations. Respect to you. A devoted channel viewer. Snafu, Albert. Hi all. Yes. Good evening. Happy Sunday. The 10th of June. Sunday the 10th of June. I hope you took notice of the title. I hope you took notice. UK visa application. So much like on Willy Wonka, as I'm come to see brother Matthew in Sheffield, I was listening to none other than my favourite of all the channels, BBC Radio 4. Not that I promote the BBC, but I like to hear the news stories that they bring out. The stories often aren't stories, or they're quite fanciful stories. So the story that I've recorded on here as a video that I'll upload to the channel later is a funny one, because it turns out if you pay 2 million or up to 10 million, between 2 and 10 million, why? You don't need to do that yet. Do it at the end. He's eating from a pan.
Straight from pan.
Man's eating from pan, man. So yeah, he likes to scrape. I've told him. Just a minute, please. Oh, you can pay between 2 to 10 million, and you will get your visa application looked at in the form of an investment potential for the United Kingdom. So there was a story on about the Bank of Kazakhstan. The bank manager of Kazakhstan in the year of about 2008, maybe 2012. I'm not sure. You watch the video that I upload. He took 5 billion roughly out of there, and he gifted his son £1 million, and his son used that £1 million to apply for a golden UK visa ticket application. And there's also a first tier application system that the UK government's still running now, but since reforms in 2015 it is 87% less popular. So in the year 2008 they started the Home Office, meaning United Kingdom Home Office, let a scheme go where they could take applications for visas from non-foreign nationals that want to come over here, that would invest millions, and they could cut through their application. So in 2008 to 2013, nobody checked any of the money. So let's say somebody wanted to come over from Mexico, America, Greece, Italy, Albania, Morocco, and we'll throw in Bosnia, and they all put their applications in, and they all had millions of pounds. The UK Home Office, everybody, let them in, didn't check any of the credentials. When we say credentials, we mean criminal, fraud, cartels, embezzlement, all this kind of nasty stuff that happens with the money that the rich people tend to hoard. So they get the payments in, and there's an investigation in 2015 to say who's checking the money, because the other guys at the other end, the Home Office, aren't checking it. The Financial Services Authority and Regulations aren't checking it, because they believe the Home Office are checking it. So for 2008 to 2013 or maybe 15, nobody checked. Millions, now billions, have invested money into the United Kingdom. Now what happened in 2009, everybody? That's right, there was a financial crash. So before the crash, it looks like the United Kingdom set up a privy little system where they could take millions of foreign investors' money to potentially buffer the United Kingdom's financial, we'll say intrinsic financial, buildings, assets, commodities, guys that are coming over here, how many businesses they're setting up, why they're getting in front of the other organic homegrown nationals that should have the same chance to do many things. And obviously these guys coming over with the millions, that's unchecked billions, and guys that run the Kazakhstan bank that then fled the country of Kazakhstan, claiming whatever, entered the United Kingdom, and now lives in XXX Road. I'll be careful with the data, but it has just been on BBC Radio 4 as man was driving up the A38. So what? Pirates, yes they rob I. So let's talk about the ones that need to come over and gain what we'll call you know, the immigrants that genuinely have a need for refuge. They get turned away by the same Home Office. They took that money. So we have a definitive example here that would be referenced in the High Court as well. I'll probably be able to find out some case law about this to say how immigration policy is controlled and how money wins over everything. So if you don't have any money, you get nowhere. And if you get caught and pay for it because you're naughty, when the government do it, we just turn a blind eye and say, don't do it again, guys, will you? So let's look at some comments. I've finished.
Get rid of the money system, you'll always have same problems.
John, evening. Good evening, brother. Matthew says to get rid of the monetary system, resource-based economy where you would declare all of the world's resources common heritage, basically. So that would fix it. In a go, that would fix it.
Always, because there's always going to be people, haves and have-nots in the money system.
John M, I'm not agreeing to Facebook terms until they send me a checkout for their contract. Artificial intelligence. Aha, Cambridge Analytica and Co. Yes, I like that, John. Well said. Eltel, love trying again. Help, I can't get into page on website. Okay, I'm taking a day off today, Adore, because man's knackered. Been working 14-hour days, 6 days a week. So I will email you that across password, and you will log in with your username. What she's on about there is our new private domain, splspro.com. We are encouraging members to go over there and have a look at it. You can make an account. It will last for 24 hours. Have a look at the site, see what you think. Made a welcome forum for visitors to come in and give some feedback, input, stuff like that. Yesterday, myself and Andy Sovereign Smith rang possibly 16 separate members, brothers, sisters from the family on Hangouts and Skype and other such, you know, media to talk about requests to help us, offers for support for the site, where we say offers for support. We mean positions that we are going to go in the other room and let you do that. 1 minute, guys. Well, yeah, I just want to just scrape and eat it. Put you, I'll say here. Agents, contributors. The agents are going to be provided from our own hand selection, but we have bloggers, contributors that can come onto the site. Obviously just normal members. We're looking at ownership of groups and forums. So again, this is all private and only available when you've logged in, but the groups will be social support groups. I chatted to somebody called Charles, given name Charles. He's working in his neighborhood in a local community, helping guys that have debt or alleged debt. He was aware of a guy that had £1,000 debt, and it turned out over the weekend the man killed himself, committed suicide, brothers and sisters, over an alleged £1,000 debt that isn't even debt, that isn't even real, and man's took his life. So these are the kind of serious things that we want to tackle in your local community area, things that we can do as an outreach community project, but do effectively and efficiently. And this time, unlike the Citizens Advice Bureau, unlike the solicitors and the legal system, we will advise you concisely, correctly, put you in a position of settlor, beneficiary, seldom trustee, let you know how to offset and discharge your charges, how to correct your status and capacity, and things like this. That's us. But what you can do is hold a forum, a chat group or something like that, and just go on about what you know, what you've experienced, how you've interfaced with all the system. If you've ever, like us, been to a magistrate and presented against a charge or a claim, effected it and you know, done well, had the magistrate say that the charges are discharged, you know. So you guys have got a lot to offer. You do that already on YouTube and Facebook and all the other platforms that you interact and tweet and chat and post on. So what we'd like to do is integrate a lot of those platforms into one. So we have the video selection on there, we have the document download section on there, we have a forum. section on there. We've got groups, we've got messages, a profile. So it's like a Facebook, a YouTube, and a WordPress all into one, and it's ever expanding. So the Way Weiss, I've got your email. I've sent you a message back. Thank you, sister, for that kind offer. Anybody else that's got any kind of relevant attributes that we could utilise going forward in the form of community outreach and support groups, then yeah, let me know. Comment on here or email ukfreedomproject@gmail.com or david@splspro.com, my private domain, 365 office secure mail that you can send documents to, rather than that Gmail one. There's a lot going off, yeah. So we spoke to him, and that was a shocker. Someone's ended the life, guys, for something that isn't even real. It's not money. It doesn't exist. We're all trading in bankruptcy. We can prove that via the various acts and bills and Bankruptcy Act, the gold insolvency, the removal of the silver, you know, the backing of the currency, the money, what there is now and how it's running. So there's no need to feel sad, scared when the, you know, bailiff, debt collector, these kind of guys start, you know, putting the pressure on, and you open a letter first thing in the day, and it sets your whole day off to be a shit day, to be fair, because you've opened a letter and you're in a bad way, you're not feeling strong, and yeah, they know what they're doing. The next thing is that a lady we spoke to got a friend who's reported something happening at the school. The school have since laid claim that it might be the lady's friend, and an in-house issue. The mother, the parent, the allodial title property holder, the creator, is got laid claim on by the institution and the trustees. The set law says the property's been damaged whilst in the presence of the school, the trustees. The school has started protecting something, and someone's rang up who's a friend and said, can you advise on this? So we've advised on that. But now the lady is not the allodial title property holder, as you can imagine, is upset. For one, the property's been damaged and harmed, and this, that, the other. And number two, the claim has been made that it might actually be the you know, the settlor, the mother, the maternal owner, creator, that may have done this damage. So now, if you find yourself in you know, a weakened state, and you might visit a doctor and say you're not suffering the best, you know, you are in a weakened state, not suffering. That means to allow, but you are not in a full 100% capacity, and you might obtain a doctor's note and some medication. And the state might look at that, because you've got a doctor's note and medication, as you're weak and unable to look after your property, and then they come in and they take the property. So there's a lot going off in there. When we've offered to have chats with guys, we've got 5 lined up. These are serious private consultations. It's not legal advice. We're not allowed to give legal advice. We're simply giving our combined input and collective, articulate, you know, and concise opinions and knowledge of what's gone off, what our members have found out, what our friends have found out, what we've done in the last 2 years, and where we're at now. So we will sit and chew the cud all day long on stuff like this, and interact for free in the Facebook community. But those that are serious and need to sort something out and need action, then what we're doing is we're collecting on splspro.com. We are going to migrate to the private from the public. We're not saying for you to do anything. We're just saying that it might be a suggestion for you to think about, where is there for you to use that isn't an establishment resource. If you want something, where do you go? You go to a private outlet, which is a corporate entity, or you go to the government. You go and pay, or you go to the government and you submit. So if you're sick of submitting and you're sick of paying, and you like some unity, solidarity, community spirit, community strength, a raising of IQs, a raising of health, your health and your wealth, and you'd like to incorporate that with the teaching and helping, supporting others in their social environment, with the interaction of the state, the law, the education, the medical, all of it, to be fair, it needs redressing. It needs stopping. We need to all stop and consider how and who are you and what are your rights. If you can't answer that question, you need to come and see us on splspro.com. And you need to think about, you know, how you are going to progress, and how you're going to safeguard and defend and move forward. If you have got property on this, you know, on this plane, then you need to think about how you're going to safeguard and look after that. And if you don't want to, you know, be put at risk, then you would not claim public full liability. So if you don't know how to not be at risk and stop claiming full public liability, then we will show you how to do that. The channel's done that through the various videos and the guests that we've had on and where we've gone and linked up. So there's been some good connections of late, and I'd like them to continue. Don't stress if I haven't emailed you. I've been dealing with beneficiaries, 2 of which I've currently got that I'm in the middle of moving and transforming the process over to the .com in a group forum in the private with the independent messaging, and looking at me removing power of attorney at present, and I'm not going to be doing any power of attorney positions anymore. I've got other jobs I need to focus on, and we've got a domain and a concept there that would cater for all this demand and deal with it effectively. Myself and Andy will step in as need be, or I will offer to do that for the time being. The trustees, they're getting appointed. I've had a chat with them very recently. I'm looking at the structure of the trust as well for your information. The structure of the trust, in law, if we assign beneficiaries as each and every member of the SPLspro.com, it means that each beneficiary has an entitlement to all the trust property, access to a right to access it at any minute, and so forth and so on, which is all very well and good. But when you have like 100, 200, 10,000 members, and some of them are very well knowledgeable in trust, they can pick fault with things. So the reason why it hasn't been established yet is because we're looking at every single opportunity of which to structure this trust to make it one of the strongest, most robustest ones that will stand the test of time. And if I ever end up having to go to answer for it and justify it, and claims are laid that it might be an agency or anything other than an express private trust, then I need to know that I'll be able to go down there to the place of business and dance the dance and hold it and stand fast. I don't want it to be collapsed and taken away and the assets stripped because the system doesn't agree with what we're doing. So we will continually come on here to point out to you our intent, our notion, and why we do this and why we look at it like this. And it's just all rotten from the core. We need your help. We got you a place to go. It's up to you for your consideration. There's no legal advice happening there, to be fair. You'll need a solicitor for that and a barrister. The Temple BAR of the Westminster Square Mile of London. And you make your own choices, guys, but thank you. We don't want to be considered as offering a service either. A lot of you come and say, I need help with this, I want help with the lien, I want help with a representation of. We will build up a board, a steering committee that will start appointing agents to assist, and if there is a physical requirement or a case that needs handling or kind of pro bono work that we can look to do, then we will go mission pro bono, and we will open that part up. But I'd like to stress that the domain.com, SPLspro.com, is an education. It's a digital online university, but it's a community as well, and it offers more than just an online learning and resource-based centre. So we are going to give you an alternative education and schooling, the alternative to the schooling system and the indoctrination to come to. But we wouldn't want to advertise, and we haven't really advertised, that we are offering the services to defend or appoint as. We have discussed it, and some of the things we've done may have given that idea to you, but I would like to reiterate that we're just going to concentrate on the educational side of it. And as for helping and taking on cases, we'd have to point you in somewhat of the direction, or set up a team, maybe, like I say, a steering committee, the agents themselves. If we get some recommendations, or some volunteers come along and they've got the relevant experience, and we can set up the lawful agreements that we'd need to put these in place with working within the trust itself. So there's a lot of direction and changes yet still to be made, or possibly to be made and to be included. So this is a live and up to the minute. We're not copying anybody. We're not copying anybody else's idea, not copying anybody else's structure or previous concepts of handling anything. Trust technology has been around for thousands of years. It's just that we're not used to interfacing with it, using it, other than the will and last testament side of trusts. And what else do you get when you inherit trusts? When somebody passes, that side of a trust and will we know about, but the other side, which we're looking at, the public statutory trust and the express private trust, and the many and various other ones that I'm not going to go into now. Yeah, I don't claim to know it all, so as I spend my time assisting and helping and building and doing other things, my educational learning curve has taken a slump. So I've had to rapidly get back into it and pick it up again and ask others for help. And I'm thinking about the whole structure of the trust, to be honest. I'm talking about it with the trustees, and I'll take comments from you as well. Anybody that understands the trust mechanism will know exactly what I'm going on about when I say that it's been put to me recently to look at the structure of the trust, the trustees, the settlor, the beneficiaries, and which I'm going to do so, because under law, the trustees are governed under the Trustee Act of 2000. So you're welcome to go and look at that, guys. Yeah, this is, see, we'll just give you golden nuggets left, right, and centre. I was given this the other day, and I asked why it would be applicable to somebody that's involved in a express private trust, but all trustees and all trusts are governed under the Trustee Act and some other documents as well as what's in the declaration. So lots to think about. We're on the edge. We're ready to go. Just hold fire. The courses are happening very soon. We're just not rushing them. They need to be text verbatim and no more, no less than what needs to be. So just hold fire on them. There is a waiting list and a queue, but we can only do what we can do within the time we've got. And we have got to prioritise quite a lot of it. So the last thing is the Sovereign Gathering in Oxford. We selling the tickets well, so we're going to get some promotions up because there is just over 4 weeks left for that, the 14th and 15th of July. Go to the .com website and you'll find on events page that should be open only for members though. So this is it. You've got to get into the private or join our family and community and our belief system, if you like, which allows you to be open and free, full disclosure, a self-governing private spirit, mind, body, soul, everything. We don't tell you anything. We don't have the right to, but what we'd like to do is get everybody that thinks like us together on the same page, in the same group, on the same forum, get your community set up, get your network set up, and then start talking about viable options of which to restructure the current way of which you are encountering your harm, injury, loss, misery, and the world is basically overtaking us because they've got money. They make the rules that they don't follow. They're not what's the word, subject to them. They enforce them on others, and they live on islands and tax havens. Look at what's happening with Malta and passports. That's another prime example of what's happening there. The Maltese and the journalist that was blown up in a car. There was one journalist reporting on some good stories, and there was another 100 in Malta not so long ago reporting about the corruption. This lady was, and the other 100 weren't, and this one lady was outweighing the other 100. And it's funny how she ended up getting blown up. She was talking about immigration, corruption, ministers, lords, passports, policies, money, and you do put yourself in danger when you talk about this, but more of us need to. They can't kill us and wipe us and blow all our cars up, that eventually there will be more of us and we will outweigh them. But for now, you need to know what opposition you're up against, and there is no establishment for you. The private, self-governing, whatever you are, non-compliant, peacefully disobedient, conscious, conscientious objector of current, mandated crazy foreign war policies, money, fiscal, mechanics, and the Home Office and what they're doing, the inaccountability, what's happened at Grenfell and the 5 reports that have come out with that, how much warning they got. It's just, how much more do you want to take? How many more people are going to have to die? They're not really people. They call them people. They're actual souls, brothers and sisters, and they're classed as what? Collateral damage, expendable, militant combatants, legal occupiers. It's time to wake up, guys. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny. Let me go through the comments and we'll see if Matthew would like to address Tube, because it has been a while. Tony, Lorenzo, man, common law jurisdiction. Wow. So Tony of the common law jurisdiction family. Yes, brother. John M. I will get back on Fedbook soon as Fedbook sent me a check. I've seen that. Missed the last few minutes. I'll catch up. No worries, Tony. It's a random. The scrapper is you. Yes, Chilster. Terrible. How did the subject heal self before pharmaceuticals came on the scene? Heal self before... Yeah, I don't know, John. Who was the first person to teach who, and how did he get taught? Wow.
Kevin Keegan. He taught Kenny Dalglish.
Oh, no, I know the answer. Confucius, I believe. No, allegedly. Your finger. Expelliarmus. I am the microcosm in the macrocosm, and that's all I know. I'm not E.T. Grow. That's what John wants. Grow. Sorry. Anyone in Manchester, welcome to contact me, Tony. Oh, yes, Tony. Well, we're setting up some sub-trusts within the main Facebook trust, and then we could do with little websites, like maybe a page on our splspro.com that would relate and feed from the Facebook page, so anybody that isn't on Facebook could see what's happening on the Facebook trust, you know, like you get a little auto feed. We're thinking about that, so we're integrating quite a lot at the minute. We are using the technology against its use for our own technological use to help better communicate, rather than things they said we should use it for. I have creators in the house, peace and love. I hope you're enjoying your day off. I couldn't resist not making one video as we're in Sheffield, and I just heard that news story about golden visas and first tier visas and how much you can pay to get into the United Kingdom and bring your corrupt money with you. Just thought I'd mention that. It started just a few months before the 2009 Northern Rock Bank crash scandal. I did an experiment on myself, a mad one. What's not funny? I thought I was dying. John, don't do that again then, brother Willie. We'll miss you if you're not here. Alias, landlaw only, no boats allowed. Hi all. Yes, Admiralty can stay out in the ocean. I am a male, pissed off and spreading the good word. Yes, Jonesy.
What fits like a jigsaw
Speak
puzzle?
them.
I don't need to be seen. What
Kill the
with common law?
drum roll.
What fits with common law is
Shabba.
common heritage. It's just simple.
Speak, Matt.
We should be
Preach.
sharing. We should be sharing.
If you've not met this lad, it's brother Matt from Sheffield. Listen, he's a wise lad.
And there's enough. There's enough technology to get food in every human being that's on this planet at this moment. But it don't get to every. Do you know what I mean? It don't get there. So that's what you got to talk about. And that's the problems that we've got. That's the problems. The only problems we've got. When you talk about all other problems, you go and you have a little dig. You go, oh, look at that. It's caused by corruption, caused by money system. Oh yeah, so money system, root of the problem.
Every problem.
Let's start
Most
tackling
problem.
that, and you know, these are
Disease.
things I think about and try and quander and ponder. And if a lot more people did, with a lot more intelligent brains than me, I'm sure we'd come up with some answers quite fast and be able to sort shit out. But look, here you go. How could you come up just temporarily, can't speak, just while they're phasing out the money system, and for bringing in automation and stuff, you'd have a set amount of credits or something. Yeah, everybody would accept, so that everybody gets that. So then
Universal credit.
all these no, not like they're talking about. No, not like they're talking about. I'm talking about this as a temporary measure to stop chaos, anarchy, rioting, famine, nasty shit, people going without medicine, chaos. Do you know, order out of chaos, new world order? Well, that's what they're trying to, you know, not that kind of stuff. I'm on about smooth transitioning, everybody going, right, this is what we want. How do we get there? Right, we have to do it like, you know. So this is just a suggestion off the cuff. Other people need to comment and make, do you know what I mean, suggestions too. But
You have to read
I
what they say.
envision, I can't see how. I envision people, yeah, so that'd happen. Universal amount or some kind, even that would satisfy rich people who don't want to give up their land and stuff and property and, you know, yeah. So then people, even the rich ones that are working 5 days in offices in London and whatnot, everybody would go to 1 day a week. Why? Because there's loads of people in job centres at the moment that can do the job you're doing and what other people are doing. So everybody would go to 1 day a week, you know, 4 people had come from job centre. For every 1 person, 4 people had come from job centre to fill that. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be quibbling about wages and how am I going to survive. So everybody would just be doing 1 day a week.
But how much money would everybody get for doing 1 day a week?
I don't know.
Universal credit.
I'm outlining in the thingy. It needs to be honed and thingy. So you'd have a. This
Yeah,
is just temporary. Once you find out what factories need to be repurposed, as in like factories churning out meerkat dolls, so they can sell you insurance. You know what I mean? To encourage you to buy some insurance. You know, you got automated vehicles that don't crash and stuff. You don't need insurance companies. You don't need that warehouse, that factory churning out meerkat dolls. It could be making something of use that maybe like helps the medical industry or something, anything. So as all this transition and way of thinking's changing and stuff, that's how you need to know how you need to.
So we've got the technology. Wait, let me speak. So we've got the technology right now to put on every iron horse of commercial vehicle. Technology to stop it crashing and to stop it running any man over, but they won't put that technology on because that would render insurance useless.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what
we have that technology.
The legal wranglings with automated cars has been, what about if it loses signal? Who's going to be in fault? In the fault of a crash, in the case of a crash,
the computer crashing. Yeah.
So, but with that,
no, I just had that thought. I've just had that thought. We've got the technology to stop vehicles crashing. It's not being fitted, and also PCNs and fines, variable speeds on the M1. Brothers and sisters, carry on. Sorry, I just had to interject.
No, that's on that will work for free. It says about that, and it's Kiva Systems. It's what's in Amazon warehouse.
Kiva.
They bought it, and it's
yes.
It's making all them robots fly about and move all stuff about. So this thing again in automation in the money system's bad because it puts people out of jobs. We need jobs to get here. We don't. We just want access. We just want food, shelter, education. You know. So yeah, with your 1 day, you'd be free then. Obviously, we'd start building universities, hospital, Paramount straight away.
Did you just say they'd be free?
Free education. So you'd have a day. You'd only be working a day, and that'd be phased out eventually because machines would just be machines taking doing someone out of a job. Would be a good thing because it'd be free people up to educate, draw out.
They wouldn't need money.
Draw out within. If you draw out within, that's what I mean. And yeah, so would be. People, it'd be just a lot more intelligent. The children wouldn't be sat in front of Mickey Mouse app getting conditioned. So it's just.
If you went to 1 day, anyway, listen. If you went to, let me speak. If you went,
one thing. If otherwise you're just chasing your tail, you're like one of them dogs that just chase the tail. Otherwise, if you don't address that money system and that problem that it causes and the everything, because I'll just add this and I'll let Dave thingy. Because there's only certain people can print money. They print this money as a loan, but the interest to pay that.
Tell them about the tomatoes.
The interest to pay that money back. Yeah, you have to pay that back at interest. Yeah, but only they create the money, but they don't print the interest at the same time. So therefore, for you to pay that back, you have to borrow some more money, get them to print some more money, again at interest, and therefore starts a endless cycle
perpetual
that can ever be paid. Don't you understand it? No. That's the money system.
They understand
all around the world. No, these people don't. The people work in the financial fucking industry, and I didn't leave school with no maths and that.
But but the subscribers understand. You don't need to shout at them.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not shouting at people. I'm expressing my vexation at the very fact.
You said, "Don't you understand?" They understand.
No, because we do. They must not, because we live by the system every day. So other people don't understand, obviously, because they don't understand, because that's something a gangster would do, a child in a playground, do you know, and we live by that. That's why you have to have cyclical consumption. We have to churn and destroy everything just to keep. That's why you have cyclical consumption and quantitative easing. I used to hear it all the time. Now I understand what that means. They lower interest rates a little bit to encourage them to borrow some more. So to encourage the cycle to come, nothing left, utter destruction is the only result.
Sandra.
Fast forward, that's the only thing you get from it. It's not hard to make biblical fucking prophecies.
Someone's made a claim, John Smith.
Wait,
stop. John Smith's made a claim. If you stop self-medicating, it might stop you talking shit. Well, you're entitled to your opinion, John, but when one makes a claim, it's called John Smith, but still.
I'm not on medication. What's on about? That's a cigarette. It's a dirty tobacco. I don't know what the fuck's he on about. So it's not
John Smith. No, I'm just saying someone's made a claim.
Shit. So what's it? So he's just saying he doesn't agree with me. So he's got no substance. No, I don't agree
John?
with you because
go on, yeah, you can
blah
answer
blah blah. Do you know what I mean? You just you're talking shit. Well, every day when you look at news, I don't personally look at news, but you'll hear a lot more shit than what I'm talking. So you're telling me, hold on, John, you're telling me, so only one set of people can print money, print it, all right, and then you have to pay them back at interest, and to be able to pay that interest back, you've got to borrow more money that also has interest on it. To pay that back, you've got to borrow more money that also has interest on it. To pay that back, you've got to borrow more money that also has interest on it. To pay that back, you've got to borrow more money to pay that also has interest on it. Can you see a pattern?
What?
Is there a pattern there? I don't know how I can pay back this money. Do you know what I mean? But John, give us a solution. Don't you know what I mean?
But let me speak. Now it's my turn. So the solution is knowing. So when myself, Steve McRae. Good evening, my brother. Good to see you on. I don't know if you're still here. But that man knows, a few of us know now who we are and how to establish authority and jurisdiction. So I would like to speak to anybody that's got a validated response or an answer for this under actual honourable equity terms, equitable terms. Equity is equity. Look at the 20 equitable maxims, and you will find out, John Smith, Common Law Court, that when the ruling of common law and equity collide, if you invoke equity and pronounce an equitable equitable remedy, it will trump the common law remedy. So common law and equity run in parallel. Yes, so that's parallel. That's not equity above common law or common law. It's been hidden away. So yesterday we had a chat with a guy that's been stamping birth certificates and copyrighting the name, yes, that's not your name, but the name that's on the birth certificate that's already copyrighted with the crown symbol, and you hold it up and you see the GRO bondsman certificate and the currency going through it. That's why you have bonded papers to show you the currency, basically. So it's hilarious, because once this guy realised that he's been copyrighting the lowercase, the uppercase, the all caps and various documents and putting them into common law court, he's rang up Dave and Andy for a just off the cuff chat about what the private has got to offer, what equity's got to offer, what the maxims of equity and the common law maxims, like the assumptions of law and the presumptions of law. So he explained about the Roman civil law system that's currently at hand. And when we say Roman civil, we seriously are deadly serious about that, John Smith. So we can bounce all day. We'd like a hangout. If anybody'd like a hangout with us, instead of just leaving odd comments, I invite you. We open the channel. Myself, Andy, Matthew will be online soon, and we'll have an open, intelligent, articulate discussion about common law, equity, public, private. We could even get the Steve on go maxims, get the canons in on the maxims and stuff, and look at who is who and who manages what. We know about the quasi-trust. We've exploded all of that, and with the CQV of 1666, and we know who the agents are. We know who set law are. We know who the kings are. We know who the creditors are. David creditor, Jeremy to debtor, John creditor, Smith debtor. Well, that's not your real name, but whatever your applicable given and family or clan names would be, John Smith. That's how you'd argue that. So thumbprints, stamps, get actual stamps, equitable asset in the correct capacity. Does anything to bring me a real bill, and I will discharge it instantly. I will effect payment instantly. That's how it rolls. So with regards to the intrinsic value and the perpetual debt, it's a joke. When Theresa May steps out, guys, and she says to the people of the United Kingdom, well, we're men and it's Anglo soil, so that's wrong, Theresa. The people of the United Kingdom are merely fictional bits of paper. They cannot see, speak, nothing. They can't interact. But when you're wearing the persona and you're thinking you're that person and you're paying that debt, Mortgages. There are two set laws when you go for a mortgage. You know, you sign and you sign. There's two creators of that. I'm not going to get into it now, but to be fair, there's two set laws. Then two people walk away with a massive amount of debt. It's insured, it's got SPVs, and you know, if they default on that mortgage, what happens? The foreclosure starts happening. The insurance policy pays that. The thing's gone round the back in the loop being sold off on international waters, and all you lot are saying is the common law is the answer. Well, in common law is a public side, as Brother McRae said on various videos he's done, and other speakers. The common law is not what you think it is. Common law is common law manslaughter, harm, injury and loss, and we use that and we respect it. We respect the common law that runs alongside, parallel with equity. But what we don't respect is people making claims that are unsubstantiated. So we'll come back and give him a little read, Matt, and see. John M says he does smoke cannabis, which wholly exists without the government's education reality and without government.
Don't make claims that you can't fucking back up. And sorry for me effing and jeffing, but I'm a Yorkshire lad that effed and jeffs. I don't accept the system and rules put in place as a result of having a money system that corrupts. You know what I mean? That's why you've got, it's just a lockdown, the money system, you know, and people defend it and like all they want, but it's their only teat that they can suckle on. And some people do well from it. And while ever you'll have people that do well from it, you'll equally have people that don't do well from it. And it's just a simple equation.
It's not fair. All right, equity, equality is equity. There's no equality anywhere. There's no equity anywhere. They are equity thieves. You have had your equity stolen in the mid. You know what I mean? And we're going to give it you back. That's all we're saying. And John Smith's probably from the common law court, and he doesn't like Andy and Dave and what we're doing in the seminars and anything. He doesn't like the channel. He has never come to speak to me. He never presented himself. Or he's a government... Listen, let me finish, then you can comment. Or he's a government shill, or he's sent here to play games and waste energy. An energy vampire. We'll play with him. We like...
the whole thing. Yeah, I'm all for common law. It's a good rule to live by. You don't cause harm to people. You don't cause injury to people. You don't being told they think they need by neuroscientists that's gone to university, studied neuroscience, then left university.
That's to do with brains, John. Neuroscience means brains.
Instead of going into the field of neuroscience and pioneering in that field, they can earn more money working for a marketing company, telling them how to make you buy stuff that you don't want or need. But
or who to vote for.
You think you want it and you think you need it. Oh, I need that. I need the new iPhone. I mean, iPhone 10. And gee, yeah. So I'm just like I say, George Carlin used to say I took a back seat, man, because I just sit there and you know what I mean. I can see it. People can't see it. You're gonna get wrapped up and stuff.
No, it's all right. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do for the love. We do it for the love.
We could change everything. Just so simple. It's just choices have to be made and demands have to be made. That's all.
Wait, let me speak then. So let's go up there. Steve, brother Steve, promissory notes, promissory, not bills of exchange. Sorry, common law should be common sense. Yes, Albert, it should
common sense. That's why common heritage is common sense.
I'm going through the comments. Sorry. Look at your £10 note. I promise to pay. Why? Yes, Steve. Why is it indeed? When they took away the gold backing in the 60s from the money, they also took away etymology and left you with a debased language, John Smith, of which is called Babel. Enjoy the mess that they've left you in there when you try and decipher out what is exactly going on. John Smith, why don't you sort out the national debt? I'm sort the Treasury would like that. Well, the national debt could be sorted out if we all stepped up and turned into mother ucking settlers and said, we, David, given names are the credit. This is the surname. The surname is from, you have a birth certificate and a certificate of birth. The certificate of birth is for the family surname bit, and the birth certificate is for the front name, given name bit, yeah? And the trusts are all in there on the birth certificate with the informant, the mother and the father. So if we actually knew who he was and how much money are invested in, and is there for us to claim, yeah, John, get that key he was given at 21, yeah, but get to the age of majority, and what you do then is you get that key, and that's what will access your Treasury account. But we can only show you how to manage it. Let me be careful here. Manage it as the correct capacity with the correct title without the full public liability, and shift and offset and endorse and accept and write stuff like that. Whereas Brother Steve's actually on the channel now. What his talents are, as far as I'm aware, forgive me if I make a mistake, it's to do with the actual controlling of the estate. Once you know, the canons and the ecclesiasticals and the deed polls and everything's put into place after status correction and stuff, you would get the gear and the principles sorted out and claim and manage it and control it. Whereas what we're saying is, there's an issue here. You don't need to all be killing yourself. Suicide over £1,000, John Smith. That's why the video is here, mate, because our brothers are committing suicide over fake bullshit debt. That's what it is. Yeah, there's 250 grand on a prince's royal bloody or 300 grand on the wedding for the you know, the bride's dress, and Grenfell Towers cladding saved 250 grand. 5 independent witnesses, 5 independent expert results come out saying that, you know, bit of a bollock drop there, and the government was warned prior. There's no defence for any of it, so none of it. The national debt is not a debt. It's a fictitious number. Yeah, it can be the double dipping. These things are paid. Have you not got a thing with a gyro slip on it, like it's prepaid?
I don't know, but
it's bullshit. There is
money,
no debt.
The money system is the control mechanism. It's the management of you and everybody and me and everybody. It's what brings equity. It's what brings these laws, it's courts, it's what brings all these saying you can't do that, you can do that, you can't do that, you can do it, you've got loads of money, carry on, you're alright, you ain't got no money, you can't do it. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's a control mechanism, and that's the management. That's how we're managed by it. And people can't see it.
It's excellent. We found out all of it. We
management
smashed out
it, but that's why
the management.
Whenever you start,
The
that's what I say.
management.
People can. I'm not gonna. I'll just watch people. I'll just watch the tails being chased, the wheels being spun, and the destruction that will come.
What
I'm
is
not
England?
a poet, but I didn't even know it.
What is the United Kingdom good at? Nothing. What we leading in? Nothing. Are the schools in a good shape? No. Are the hospitals in a good shape? No. Let's look at the train system. Oh, don't talk about the trains. Oh, let's talk about the universities. Well, yeah, they come out and they can't even get employment.
Keep us
Talk about there's
distracted while
nothing
they-
working.
No, we are good
There's
at stuff.
nothing
We're very good
working.
at stuff.
No, I said the United Kingdom. The
Yeah,
infrastructure is
mashing up.
fucked.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
all
say,
broken.
no, but
Doctors, hospital. Name me something
keep
that
us-
works.
it's to keep us
Nothing.
distracted
So,
while they go
what
off
I'm
to
saying is,
Afghanistan.
foreign war policy, don't mention about that. You're paying your council tax and your voluntary taxes that are now compulsory, and you're getting, how is a man, John Smith, locked up in the United Kingdom judiciary, yeah, how are they getting locked up for a civil fucking matter? How is that possible? Talk to me about national debt. Man's getting killed, committing suicide, getting locked up for civil issues. Where's the victim? How has the process happened there? Who's done what to whom? How have you ended up being custodial sentence given, yeah, and incarcerated? There's no harm, injury and loss for a fiscal debt that doesn't exist when we're trading in bankruptcy. Oh, we've blown it wide open, family. So be proud of who you are, what you're doing, know who you are. You do not have a date of birth. Your date of birth is hearsay. Yes, your person has a date of birth. You do not have a surname. You have a clan name or a family name, don't you, John Smith? Or a made-up name, you know, such as guys like that. Then you would argue that your national insurance number is, again, indemnification. Where does it come from, John Smith? It comes from the International Monetary Fund. Now, why does the International Monetary Fund issue man with a security national insurance number or a social security number? Why would they do that? Is that just to identify us, you think, or is that something else?
Of the money system and the fabrication of a lie that perpetuates
It's an instrument. It's an instrument.
of people of the planet to live like in a resource-based economy, basically. Resource, common law and common heritage is the basis of its core. You know, you don't have to write it proclamation.
Paper proclamation.
Born into it. They're born into it. They're born into the way of life, and they live that. Well, they'd live. People, even the richest today, wouldn't live. You'd live better in. Everybody'd live better in collectively in the in Venus Project. People say about communism.
What is the Venus Project?
It's
who made that up?
It's Jack Frisky, but it's a resource-based, technological. That's all you need to know. Using technology to produce the high standards of productivity, which they do already in business. As soon as there's a machine to put these people out a job, it gets implemented.
Yes.
Whether you like
Yes,
it
it
or
does.
not, whether you like it, and if it doesn't affect your industry, it affects
It
somebody
does.
else's industry, and that can have a knock-on effect. It's called technological unemployment, and you either get people demanding that we don't build robots that can do a job better than we can do it, because we want to do that job.
Yeah.
But actually, but then, and
I
while they're
wanna be
doing
a
that
slave.
job, say, I love my hobby. Me, what do you do? I go fishing all the time. If I could, I'd do fishing all the time. Why did you demand a job then? If you wanted to go fish, you should have demanded that the robot does your job,
Yeah.
so you can go fishing. Why have they got you to do it again? Reverse cycle.
And if we knew this is an instrument and that's an instrument, we like instruments, we're
Money's an
musicians.
instrument.
So if you knew about your instruments, you would use your instruments correctly, wouldn't you, Brother Steve and other Indiglo faithful, loyal, sovereign, self-governing, knowledgeable, intelligent guys that you know how to effect payment, how to not have the full public liability, have instrumentation. Your birth certificate is an instrument and it has the warning at the bottom and it tells you if you call yourself that and identify with that, then you're then rendering yourself the full public liability. That's all we need to say really. We'll go through the comments and then we're going to wrap it up. Bottom, citizenship in the United Kingdom from foreign waters with millions of pounds in an instant. Nobody's checking anything. Oh, by the way, you should have to live over here about 3 years of residency before the UK home, what did I call them? The Home Office lets you in, but they let you in straight away without living here 3 years when you get your pump monies out. So talk about being skinned. Where's that money going? Where do the millions go, John Smith, that the UK Home Office accepts for international, non-British, non-nationals, for aliens, illegal aliens to come over, or just aliens, because they're not Anglo-Saxon, they're not white Anglo-Saxon Protestant to be exact, John Smith, as far as you may be concerned, but, we're not all like that. And they get in here just like that. Where's the equality? You know what I mean? It's disgusting. That was why I wanted to get this video done, and then we've sidetracked somewhat, guys, so thanks, been quite fun indeed. Gals is slag backwards long. Jesus, what you on about? Hi guys and gals. Rotors, easy. How you doing there? John, Steve, do you ever answer any questions? We don't have to, John. We're not obliged to. Do you ever answer any questions or play nice or, show respect for your fellow man? Take my dogs out. I'll listen to the rest later. P900, respect and thank you, as always. Jesus Jones. I see that. International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. Article 9. Yes. That is a beauty. John Smith. Why do you think Thatcher administration and the bank made her the third world nations? Well, we know why Thatcher sold off the utilities, John, because she was told to. It was part of the plan and the demise. It's part the same way she brought in the poll tax and the Criminal Justice Act, the repetitive beats and what she did in the sociological geo-shaping. I remember everything back then as well. So, yeah, I could talk about what Thatcher did, Arthur Scargill, the miners, the council tax, the poll tax as it was back then, 1991, was it? Late 90, I do believe. Ugh, horrible time. Summer of 88, though, bum shanker. That was a year, wasn't it? Summer of 88, let's lift the mood. Can we have some comments? Don't talk about the trains, they are completely broken. Yes, Jesus, the United Kingdom's broken, my brother, and we're going to set about putting it right, but we have to set about putting it right when you are protected and you have got your castle locked down. So first we have to do those, and that's what the development and the encouragement here is, and I thank you for that. John Norbert, think I'll give myself some new brain cells for what I did, bro. All right, Steve, what are the difference between a manor roll and a manororion? Answer that. Shills are easy to spot because there's nonsense in what they say. Yeah, there's no sense, and we can articulate, cite and reference everything, and that's why you stick with us, that's why you follow us, that's why you're migrating over to the private, and you are taking up, the things that we recommend. We don't tell anybody anything, it's just a recommendation, but we are seeing a vast evolution of the way that we operate and the way that we identify. The lawful rebellion is kind of petering off now. The pots and the pans and the making the din in the street like peasants is finished. We are being articulate. We are being intelligent. We are winning in the custodial domains now, which is amazing to say the least. We're having wins against debt collectors purporting to be bailiffs. Well, that's to be confirmed. We've talked about the warrants and the fact of what the warrants need to contain and what kind of a structure of a warrant needs to be for what kind of authority to be allowed, and if it is actually authentic. And we are Andy's having successes. Serge has had some in the early days. We're going strength to strength. And we're very happy with where we're at, so we'll continue onwards. And thank you all for your watching and your comments. What we got here, Matthew Blu-ray. Should we start a Sovrest collapse? They are merging banks together, getting ready for the rest reset. Yes, they are. It looks like they're doing cryptocurrency creeping in, and they'll probably let something crash, because I'm telling you, with the currency and the Carillion scandal and what deficit that'll have created with the pension, there will be a lot coming this way, and a big shitstorm, you can rest assured. But you'll always have your estate and things like that, as long, well, you won't always, they'll probably reclaim them.
Because people will run around.
I'm trying to install a network of trade, levy, barter, anything that's initially something we are trying to install a network with the community-based focus leading up to the main hub trust in SPLs on Facebook. The satellite shell sub-trusts even will be contained within that, in your local geographical landmass city type area, and your network like that. Then you've got the Facebook, you've got the YouTube, you've got your emails, you've got your iron horses. You can do whatever you want, guys. But alternative currencies, I don't know. We do need to fix something, though. We do need to have a look at this and make a decision. It's not for one man to make, or us. We can chat about it, but
for me to make,
we need to.
I'll make that decision on behalf of humanity. I'll make that decision. There is no alternate currencies. That's what I mean. If you, they'll crash your bank as well. They'll crash it to create economic fucking just mentalness. So people go out. There's no in shops. All that, but what people don't realise is that all this food comes from other countries to this country.
Finishing now.
In a network of logistical transport things. I apologise for the night T-shirt. I got it from a charity shop though, so that reflects me off.
They're not on about that.
People comment, don't they? People
Come on, let's wrap it up.
Anyway, so yeah, there's logistics involved, and we all do that. There's no elite person who runs the money system or like that, or the legal system that involved in any of that. So if once people grasp the concept of a resource-based economy, then do it. There won't be any. It doesn't matter if the money crashed and you know what I mean, it all went tits. People would just carry on the network that's already set up.
Yes, they would. That's what the Blu-ray's on about.
That's what you do. You just take it. Oh, it's already here. We already run everything.
The supermarket.
Only thing is, it's a self-running farm with money as the control mechanism. And we run it and we operate it all. But we could have a better farm or a more natural farm. It would be just a natural place where we can just be us and everybody can have same and just look at technology. Just look at videos on internet and stuff about how automation and manufacturing and stuff like that, and how you see what you can get a machine to do. And machines will only do what you design it to do. So if you end up in this, then we'll end up with machines killing us, doing us in.
Amazon have made the shop, and they made the shop without money and without
staff.
Because
we're not needed anymore. So they'll do some soft kill stuff and a few wars and get you going off to Afghanistan, get your sons and that, and getting the legs blown off, and then they won't pay for them to get fixed. They'll expect you to put your hand in your pocket again, even though you paid for weapons and you paid for boots and you paid for everything. You know what I mean? Because you'll pay for everything. You pay for everything all the time. You'll always pay for everything. You will always pay. They won't pay. You will pay.
But everything's prepaid, and we're trading in bankruptcy. Is the ironic bit to this, as we've said.
You don't need to trade in anything. It's just, blueprints are blueprints. If you send a blueprint for a Toyota to Corolla from one country to another, it's same thing gets turned out. It don't come out a Mini. What's happened here? Fucking Rover Mini.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a Toyota Corolla, that. Don't know. I must have looked at blueprints wrong way right now.
Them lads in Sheffield done it again.
The exact same vehicle or the exact same product will be turned out. As soon as people get ideas and they keep it and they say, it's mine, I want something for it. Open source.
But where you have a law, it isn't universally accepted and translated and like 1988 Road Traffic Management Act. Let's all imagine we've got it here now in all its entirety. We're all reading it now. We all have a read, and now we've all got to write a summary of what we think the road traffic entails. So 17 of us together, man, and all our 17 are conflicting and different. We see, why is there so many grey areas? Why do they have to do a plea bargain? What are they for? They're bargaining for money. It's Watmond and the security, the only one in the lower de facto court that they've got. It's on your persons, you know. That's why we look at subrogation, how we choose to settle and, you know, represent and so forth. It's the law. The law should be equally understandable. You should be able to read it. Matt should be able to read it, and Indy, Dave should be able to read it. And we all write a summary and go, that's it. Thou shalt not kill. That's a good law. No problem, say. What he said, what did thou shalt act? Believe them. When really it applies to employees and guys under commerce, the government, the police, the fire, the ambulance, the babs, the importers. Just all I'm saying, as you said about translation and all that, Corolla and Mini, I was thinking law and how law need, because we can't understand it, but our law is dead simple. It's the easiest law you could ever find,
law
isn't it?
will always be broken. If you afford food and food costs money, they will steal or do something to get that money to buy that food, you see. When in actual fact, all they wanted was food, you see. So they'll break laws that's been made.
Brexit.
They'll break them. They'll break laws that's man-made and been thinking, you know, or even God's law. They said you're not supposed to take, and you know what I mean. But you're gonna eat. You gotta eat.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just
access is denied. Computer says no. Sorry, no benefits, no eat, no rent, no council tax. Your landlord's kicking off. You can't get your prescription. It's the weekend. What? How can you be left?
I'm not justifying anything.
Trustees, they wouldn't trust them as far as you could swing them. But, I wouldn't trust them with. I wouldn't trust them with my worst enemy, to be fair, because they can't be trusted.
People's actions, I'm not justifying, but like them Somalis and that, they used to oil companies they used to forget fish and eat out at rivers, and oil companies wrecked all rivers. Fish all died. They didn't have land wrecked. So yeah, they got left. They just left and ragged land and do it. All they could do was just go, okay, then we're going to storm your ships, and everyone's like making out these people are right bad, but in actual fact, they're just doing what they need to do.
Oh, you mean like that film with George Lucas called Captain Phillips? Poor Captain Phillips.
You can portray them how you want, and they are probably, some of them are bad people, but their environments that they've grown up in. But, you know, at the end of the day, there were a lot of people that used to just eat from land and live off at land, and they got took away from them. So you'd be a bit angry, wouldn't you? And you might take up a gun and do things, and, you know, to feed your family. But, yeah, like I say, I don't justify people's actions. I don't judge anybody. You can't. Environment dictates the result. And we've got a shit one, so you're always going to have a shit result.
Oh, well said. Right, I'm going to read the comments and then we're finishing. Thank you, guys. Blu-ray, Steve, John, the government, all hocus pocus magic, gave Java the book, John Chan. Tell John Smell. What about free speech? Anybody else lost sound? A manor roll is the ledger for the estate. The manorial. We can't speak, John. We're idiots. Look, we are actually idiots. Is a roll or court roll is the roll of record kept of the activities of a manorial court. Manorial. Manorial. Like a glorial. Guys, the picture is terrible. Oh, it's a weak signal. Steve Watford, I want your answers. Right then, let's go. Peace and love, guys. It's been fun. We'll be back later. Ciao, Bello.
That's